Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk. Movie talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Kennedy, and this is the show that we bring you the day's biggest movie news with insight into what it all means. Joining me today is AMC Movie News Senior Editor, John Campea.
Hey, Crystal, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Excellent, thank you.
And we also have director of the upcoming film ABCs of Death, Mr. John Schnepp.
All right, what's up? Mailbag.
He gave it away.
Totally gave it away. Well, we have a special edition today. So, John, tell us what it's about.
Yeah, we thought, we reintroduced the mailbag segment on the show. And since doing so, you guys have been emailing us in basically 100 times more emails than we can actually get to. So we thought we would take today and do one special all mailbag edition. It is amazing. Let me throw this out there first. I'd say about 50% of the 100 or so emails we've gotten in the last little while have been everybody's writing in their dream casting for Justice League.
I bet.
Has been about that. A lot of Star Wars questions, a lot of Wolverine questions. So we're just going to get to as many as we can today as we possibly can. So Chrisley's got a bunch of emails pulled out, so let's get started.
All right. The first one is Kang Thao, who writes, "Hi guys, I love the show. This question's on my mind since you guys brought it onto the show. If Disney is planning the Hulk to be in Phase 3 with Planet Hulk because they don't own the rights to the FF4 and X-Men, who do you think will take place of Mr. Fantastic and Professor X in the Illuminati? Or do you think that the Guardians of the Galaxy will take the Hulk and the Illuminati will never be formed?"
No, if they do Planet Hulk, and for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Planet Hulk is this big... It's two stories. It's called World War Hulk, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. And basically it's a story where the Earth's heroes basically decide the Hulk is just too dangerous. And they exile him off to another planet where he becomes a space gladiator and becomes king of that planet and then comes back to Earth really pissed off, looking for revenge for exiling him, and his wife dies. But that's a whole nother story. I don't think you can do Guardians of the Galaxy taking him away. I think for that story to work, if you're going to do it in the Marvel context, the Marvel movie universe context, I think the way you've got to do it is that the Avengers are the ones who sent him off, because you got to have him fighting the Avengers when he comes back. So if they are in fact going to be kind of following the Planet Hulk and World War Hulk storylines, which has been suggested, we don't know that for a fact, but if they are, I think it's the Avengers who've got to exile him, because they're the ones he's got to fight when he comes back. Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be like S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers, and all the characters that they've introduced in the Marvel universe will be, the heavy hitters will be in charge, getting rid of the Hulk. In fact, I saw there was they were talking about making the Hulkbuster Iron Man suit as like a little cameo in Iron Man 3. You'll see it in the background, like he's building something that looks like the Hulkbuster. So the Hulkbuster will be in Avengers 2, or at least the end of Avengers 2,
That would make a lot of sense. What's next?
Yeah.
Okay, Timothy Johnson writes, "I know you have talked much on the topic of Justice League, and it seems to be one of the biggest movie buzz at the moment due to recent statements putting off production of the film. No doubt the WBDC need to get a firm foundation laid for an expanded movieverse. I think the studios need to focus on a Man of Steel sequel first, with a solid cameo at the end of the film leading the way to a Justice League movie. They would have a better chance doing that than rushing a Justice League movie in theaters into 2015. What do you guys think?"
Okay, first, who wrote that?
Timothy Johnson.
Timothy Johnson. Thank you for the question. First of all, you can't have a cameo, a solid cameo, unless you already know what you're going to do next. There's no point in having... The brilliant thing about the Marvel cameos is that they already know what those cameos are setting up. And right now, I don't think Warner Brothers has any kind of an idea what it is they're setting up. Plus, Man of Steel was finished shooting a long time ago. So it's kind of too late for that, and they can only do cameo if they're setting something up. But I do want to address something that you brought up in your email, and then we'll get to Schnepp's thought on this. You mentioned, and I hear everybody talking about rushing for 2015. Rushing for 2015. Folks, between now and the summer of 2015 is a long time. There is plenty of time to make a good, solid, well thought out film between now and 2015. Now, the clock is starting to run out, absolutely. But 2015, getting something done between now and 2+ years from now is not a hard proposition. It's not difficult. They make lots of feature films in much less time. I mean, they're only started shooting Thor not too long ago. It wasn't that long ago that they started shooting Thor, and Thor's coming out at the end of this year. It's coming out at the end of 2013. I mean, this whole notion that if you come out with a Justice League movie in 2015, that's rushing it. No, it's not. It's not rushing it at all if you know what you're doing and what your plan is. Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little movie called Star Wars 7 coming out in 2015. They're still writing the script. They're still writing the script. There's nothing cast. No, they haven't built any, characters, CG landscape. Nothing's, as far as I know. But that's what they're saying is they're still working on the script. So, and that's coming out in 2015. So, Abrams is now, they're saying maybe not, but you're pretty sure it's going to be 2015. I think they should just get on it. They should get Warner Brothers usually does that. Hire 4 writers. They all write a script and they pick the best one. Keep doing it. I mean, think about television. There's like 22, more episodes made for television series every year. So I'd see a Justice League movie sooner than later instead of waiting around until 2017 or something. Yeah, it seems like if you're gonna make one. You've got all the characters. They're just sitting in a bargain basement bin somewhere. They're waiting to be like, hey, remember me? I'm Superman. Here, I'm Batman. Hey, look over there. Hey, I'm Flash. I've never gotten to do anything yet except for that TV series in the 80s. Remember?
I like that TV series.
They're just hanging out. They're like, yo, what's up? I'm in comics every month. Remember me? So I'd say get on it. Let's get somebody writing it.
All right. What else we got?
Next one is from Joseph P., who agrees with me on musicals, and I'm a little excited about this. He writes in, one of my favorite all-time musicals is My Fair Lady, and for a long time I've heard about a remake. Keira Knightley and Carey Mulligan were rumored to be cast as Eliza Doolittle, and I've heard Colin Firth's name bouncing around, but I haven't heard anything for a while now. Have you guys heard anything about this project?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Colin Firth did say he was going to do it, and if I'm not mistaken, Keira Knightley's name was floated around, but I think Mulligan eventually emerged as the one who's going to play Doolittle. However, that being said, that was back in 2011 that Colin Firth said he was going to do it, and nothing has happened on the project since. They do not have a new screenplay done. I don't believe the project had ever got a director. And as far as I know, and I could be wrong, Schnepp, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, there has been no movement on the project whatsoever, and I suspect it may be dead. It may not be, but I suspect that it might be dead, which would be unfortunate because Colin Firth, Mulligan, and I love My Fair Lady, actually.
Amazing.
I think it's a really funny story. And it's amazing. If you haven't seen My Fair Lady, watch it, and you'll be amazed how many of your favorite shows have done episodes that are basically their version of My Fair Lady. The Family Guys was one of the best. But it's a great movie. The original's a great movie. I've never seen the stage show, so I don't know. But as far as I know, it may be dead. John, have you heard anything different about it?
Yeah, I actually heard that they're working on like kind of a drag version of Eddie Murphy and Belushi. Last I heard.
Very different film.
Weird. Yeah, Hollywood, whatever.
All right, what else we got?
Tim writes, hey y'all, I love your show. Thank you for keeping me updated on all things in the movies. Keep up the good work. My question is in regards to the trailer for the new Wolverine film. It seems the teaser trailer keeps getting pushed and pushed until the very last second. It's gotten to the point where friends of mine don't even know it's coming out. Do you think the extreme lack of a trailer at this point so late in the game will hurt the movie?
No. No. Okay, first of all, let's step back for a second, my friends. Let's step back for a second. It is still 5 months until Wolverine comes out in late July. 5 months. Now, we have just heard Amy Rose Eisenbach actually point out to me that the Wolverine trailer is going to debut with the new G.I. Joe film in March, which is still 4 months away from when it comes out. This whole concept that, oh my gosh, I don't know when 4 months away from a movie is extremely late in the game. No, it's not. This is still plenty. You know what will be bad for the movie? Because we've seen this happen in the last year or so. a bad first trailer. Because I've seen some movies that have been killed because the first trailer was bad and no one ever got over it. So I mean, put out a good trailer. 4 months is plenty of time to start putting them out. So Schnepp, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, I said Dread was one of the movies that got killed by a bad first trailer.
Yeah.
Which I loved that movie, but I thought the first trailer, I was like, wow, this looks kind of like cheap and lame. Just because it was badly put together, the trailer. So, yeah, 4 months is quite a long time, especially in our society filled with ADD-addled people who can't, concentrate for 5 minutes on a cell phone. So, why don't you relax? You'll get to see a trailer. Plus, all these trailers that come out, like ones that come out, like here's the mini trailer to the mini tease trailer half minute.
Yeah.
It's like here's 10 seconds of a micro trailer. Like, look, I'm tired of that stuff. I get suckered into it too. I'm not gonna say I don't watch them. The weird 5 seconds of Iron Man 3. I saw it. Whatever. It's that's the way these giant movies work now. Maybe the Wolverine thing will be just like him standing in his closet, like I'm going to take you out, Wolverine. And you'll feel like a sucker for waiting all these months. I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to release some full awesome trailer. And another thing about trailers is a lot of Hollywood movies now kind of ruin the movie by showing you too much.
Yeah.
So I think relax. I think the trailer's on its way. 4 months, I agree, it's a lot of time. I'd rather wait.
Yeah, me too. All right, what do we got next?
Caleb Keeter writes, hey guys, I love the show so much. I was wondering if you could answer a very simple question, especially you, Campia. Who is your favorite Justice League member?
Look, I know this is going to sound lame, and I know it's going to sound like a total cop-out, and it's just what everybody says, but if you want me to tell the truth, it's Batman. Of course it's Batman. It's always Batman. Batman 99.9% of the time. I mean, I always used to argue with people about Batman in the comic books and things like that. Some people didn't like the fact that in, the Dark Knight Returns that, Batman beat Superman. Actually several times in the comic books, Batman has beat Superman. Yes, he has to be tricky about it, and yes, he has to cheat, but he wins. But my argument with people has always been, look, you don't get it. In the comic book universe, anything short of Jesus, Batman wins. You put Batman, you got Batman fighting the Hulk, and somehow, some way, Batman wins. That's just the way it is. So for me personally, it's Batman. I'm not saying he should be everybody's favorite. I'm just saying he just happens to be mine. Schnepp, what about you?
Probably Metamorpho, that weird dude who can change his body into stuff, or John Johns, the Martian Manhunter.
I thought for sure you're gonna say Plastic Man.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, it's probably Batman for me too. Like all the other weirds, like C Stringer, like the guys who are on the bench most of the time, like Buster guy who could change his hand into a hammer. It's like, yeah, Batman's the best character that of pretty much all superheroes for me. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, right there too. So Batman.
You know what they need a live action film of? The Wonder Twins. You put out a Wonder Twins movie, I'm there. That kicks Avengers 2's ass all over the place. Wonder Twins.
It's a comedy, like form of an ice bucket. I'm a Falcon, and then they just like splash people with water.
that's exactly it, man. Fighting crime that way. Okay, what else do we got?
Kenton from Riverside writes, hey guys, I love the show and look forward to it every day. My question is about the upcoming film, The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. I was wondering what you thought of the first film, and after seeing some of the new images released from the set and the new poster, are you excited for the sequel?
I actually, surprisingly enough, I didn't mind the first Hunger Games film. I thought it was pretty good. I like Gary Ross as a director very much. I love Elizabeth Banks. So I'll buy her in just about anything. And overall, I thought it was terribly shot. I thought, especially for the action, there's very few things I hate more in motion pictures today than shaky camera and really rapid editing. What that is a lazy way to hide the fact that you don't know how to direct action. So you don't know how to direct action, just shake the camera a lot and do really quick, rapid editing, and it creates the illusion of action when really just means me as an audience member, I can't see what's going on. And I hate that. And I hated that they used that technique in Hunger Games. But then I thought it was pretty good. I think I did not like the second two books. I am in the minority. I know. I read them in like a 20-hour stretch while I was playing poker in Vegas at the table. I had my tablet out in between hands, reading the books. And I honestly, I didn't like them very much. So, it's difficult for me to look at the images that have been coming out without having that tainted view of the fact that I already know I don't like the books. So I got to try to get that out of my head.
Please do.
And just take the movies at their own face worth. So I don't know, Schnepp, what did you think of the original Hunger Games? Are you looking forward to the next one?
I was gonna. You were doing the poker games, and you might have been losing while you were reading the Hunger Games. So that affected you were reading it. As you were down more money, you were like, I can't stand this book. Right? That happened?
No, I think it was a good weekend for me, actually.
Well, that's good. I was gonna say I really like the Hunger Games too. Surprisingly, I haven't read the books, and I agree with the zero choreography, like super close up, weird, like shake the camera, and that's really super annoying to me because I love choreography. I love kung fu films. I love, amazing action sequences. And when you feel cheated, I especially remember feeling a little bit cheated with the very first Batman Begins. Like they did a lot of those close up, like what's happening? He's fighting ninjas. I can't see anything.
Right.
That's especially in action films, superhero films, science fiction films that have a lot of action. You can't really go to that like Born Identity, shaky cam, super, I'm in a car, everything's shaking, what's happening kind of thing. So, but aside from that, I love the Hunger Games, actually. I saw it. I think Jennifer Lawrence is one of the greatest actresses to come out in the last couple of years. Winter's Bone. She's such an amazing actress. So for her to be the anchor point is, had me right away. And I like the really bizarre, futuristic, strange, colorful outfits, like that the elite all have the bizarre like blue and red hair, and I thought it was fun, so I'm looking forward to the second one.
All right, what's next?
Edgar M. writes, hey guys, been a fan from day one, and lately you've been talking about the Justice League movie, who should play who, whether or not it's happening. I know you don't think it's going to happen, John, and frankly, I don't care if it happens or not, and I'm an X-Men fan. But if it's not happening, I think they should just do independent DC superhero movies about some of the less-known DC characters. I, for one, would love to see a Teen Titans movie, Spectre movie, or even a Captain Marvel movie. What do you guys think?
Nope. Nope. No, never going to happen. Never, ever, ever going to happen. And here's why. Look, my favorite, besides Magneto, I think my favorite comic book character might be Bishop. For those who read X-Men, you know who Bishop is. And while I would love to see a live-action Bishop film, I'm never going to see a live-action Bishop film because nobody knows who Bishop is. I mean, that core of comic book fans do, but that's 1/10. That's 1/20th of the movie-going audience. It's not enough. And you can't have a Teen Titans movie. Let's even say they were popular. You can't have a Teen Titans movie without a Justice League movie first. Unless you lay the groundwork of who these are Teen Titans of, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So the fact that nobody cares about the Teen Titans outside of the comic book fan industry, nobody knows who Spectre is. Spectre. Sorry, notice who the Spectre is. Captain Marvel is an interesting one. There was a period of time when Captain Marvel actually had popularity even outside of the comic book fan world, and there was even a time when The Rock was talking about being in a Shazam movie. I believe he was going to play Black Adam or something like that. I'm not really sure. Right. But so there was some possibility there, but unfortunately, as much as these types of characters that we love so much, they just don't have any notoriety outside of the comic book fans, and therefore could never generate an audience, and so we're never going to see them. Schnepp?
I differ a little bit. I think, remember when the X came out, that was an unknown quantity. When Iron Man came out, he was like a lower ranked tiered Marvel character. I mean, if you're a comic book fan and you read comic books, then you know all these characters. Unfortunately, comic book fans, like 1/100th of the world, like maybe even smaller. So a lot of people didn't know who Iron Man was. A lot of people especially did not know who are the X-Men. So I think if you took a character, say like Cable, and just threw it like it's like a Terminator, futuristic superhero kind of action film, you could do something like that, even as a standalone and not tied into the X-Men, and bring it to a global wide audience, and they would dig it. I think tying it into the X-Men would be even a 1+. So I think a lot of the smaller characters in each of the DC and Marvel universes, like the Spectre, you'd have to play that like as a horror film, and it would have to be separate. Yeah. It couldn't be like tied into like the Flash is also in the movie with the Spectre. Just wouldn't work. So if you did like a ghost story horror film, Made it really creepy. I know everybody's into this PG-13 thing, but doing a hard R Spectre, I think, like, have a hit. I mean, those are the kinds of things that you have to take the properties and really look at, like, who reads them as a comic book, and exponentially, like, you know, like, all right, if these are the readers, we want to get all people, those same people who read this comic that are also into this, into that. So that's how you grow, you know, a brand, I think. And I think every character that's both in Marvel and DC, most of them are growable into a brand, to be honest with you. It's just how you do it. Like you said, the Wonder Twins, it's like, if you did it as a goofy comedy, I'd watch it. If you did like some straight up serious Wonder Twins, I'd be in Dimension X and be like, what's happening to the planet? Right? So,
all right, and I think we got one more.
Yeah, our last question of the day is from Austin Michelson, who writes, I watch your show all the time, and I'm an avid Star Wars fan. I was wondering what your opinion is on the rumor that the original actors will be back for Episode 7.
Well, what we do know for a fact is that Mark Hamill, who of course played Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy, he came out and said, after they announced that Disney had bought Lucasfilm and that they were going to do Episode 7, Hamill announced that the year before, he and George Lucas and I believe Carrie actually had a lunch meeting to discuss in Episode 7, that Lucas already had his idea for the next trilogies, Episode 7, 8, and 9, and clearly, while he gave no details, clearly it included Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia much later in years, obviously. And we know that they are making Episodes 7, 8, 9 based on the concepts and the ideas that George Lucas has laid down. So I think, well, I mean, we don't know anything, but I would, if I was a betting guy, I'd say that I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and even Harrison Ford, oddly enough, popping up in these films. I don't think these films will revolve around them, but I think they will be there. That's just, like I said, don't quote me. I'm not basing that on anything factual other than the fact that Mark Hamill and George Lucas had a lunch where Lucas discussed Episode 7 with him. Schnepp, what does your crystal skull tell you?
Me and Hamill were just hanging out earlier.
Oh my God, that's you and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, we're bros from Metalocalypse. I'll find out the truth. Yeah, you know what? Guess what? He also talked to Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. They're all going to be in it. Everyone knows that. So let's just say it's happening. It's done. They can't hide it. It's going to happen. So they're going to be passing on the saber to some brand new kids, like some brand new Skywalker children. Sith are going to still be around. Something's going to happen in the next 3 episodes, right? We know that. That's to them to figure out a kick-ass story for us to actually be into. But yeah, we're going to see Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. They'd be crazy to not be in it. It's one of the most perfect setup sequels I've ever seen. Is like, watch this movie when I was a child, and then like, what is it? 40 years later, 35 years later. How many years is it?
Yeah,
they're going to be having
in that ballpark.
They're going to be the age that they were supposed to be without having to wear makeup. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, then like go 20 years farther into the future when like children are watching this like 9-episode series, their minds are going to be blown. They're like, I just saw Luke Skywalker, now he's 60. You know, it's going to blow in their mind. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great.
Well, all right, folks, that will do it for this episode of AMC Movie Talk, the Mailbag Edition. Thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget, we answer 1 or 2 mailbag questions every single day, so you can email your questions to us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Listen, while you're here, stop what you're doing, take a second and click that subscribe button. Become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. Keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news, our editorials, and of course, our daily AMC Movie Talk show. It's absolutely free. Just click that subscribe button. While you're at it, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMC Theaters. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AMC Theaters. Want an audio-only edition to listen to us on your commute to work? Check the description below for links to iTunes and Stitcher Radio. I want to thank our host, Chris Lee Kennedy. Thank you so much, Chris Lee.
Thanks for having me.
The one and the only, the magnificent, the omnipotent, Mr. John Schnepp. John, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks. Don't forget, I'm pimping my Kickstarter, Death of Superman Lives. What happened? Still raising money. We still have 25 days to go. So if you haven't checked it out, please go to Kickstarter, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. Check out this documentary I'm trying to make, and maybe pledge like $10, $15. It'll help. So
you can check the description below for a link to that Kickstarter page. If you have not seen, I think later this week we should actually like take a 5-minute segment and just talk about this project of yours because it's so freaking fascinating. So folks, that'll do it for us for now. We will talk to you again tomorrow, and until next time, my name is John Campia for AMC Movie News. Bye bye.